in the morning and get to the bands.
Hey, it's your host with the most from the YouTube channel. So what do you do? And if you don't know what you do, ask yourself, so what do you do? And if you do know what you do, you've come to the right YouTube channel, because today I am extremely excited to be with the one and only Self-Baked, the Bake It Yourself edible company, who's only been operating for less than 2 years and has been distributing their own product for less than a year. They have already reached many accomplishments by being sold out of Burners on Haight in San Francisco, as well as being sold in 100 other dispensaries throughout the state of California. Self-Baked goal is to give the people the tools to get baked while baking in their own homes. And again, I'm extremely excited to be here at Lbs Distribution Center in West Sacramento to be doing this interview with the founder, Alex, of Self-Baked. Alex, appreciate you for having us.
Thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to talk to you guys about what we're doing here.
Alex, man, you guys have come up with an amazing idea.
Thank you.
Self-Baked. It's a bake it yourself. It's a do-it-yourself edible company. Alex, how did you even come up with the idea to have a cannabis-infused edible where people can do it themselves?
It kind of started from a couple places. The two main sources was, my best friend's mom. She was, the Jewish mom who was always feeding me food. She loved being in the kitchen. She was a nurse just like my mother, and when she got diagnosed with terminal brain cancer, I wanted her to be able to have something where she'd be empowered making her own medicine, doing something that she loved, and being able to medicate herself. Cannabis was something she'd already used before, but during chemo she couldn't smoke, so she turned a lot to edibles, and this was kind of a spawn of that. And the second part is my girlfriend and some friends were making edibles in my house, maybe every other day, and the mess that was incurring was just, it hurt my head to see it every day. So I was like, this has just got to be an easier way. And I took a page out of Betty Crocker's book and was like, what can we do? How can we create something that's just so easy, so simple? It's 1, 2, 3, and anyone can do it. And Self-Baked was the baby child that came from that.
Wow. So here you are, you and your friend, your friend's mom come down with this illness, right? And she was already being medicated. You and your friend?
Yeah, so it's another best friend. We all grew up in a circle together, but down in our hometown in Laguna Beach. But it's my other best friend who's the business end, and then my best friend's mom, another best friend's mom, who was the kind of inspiration behind it.
Thought of this idea, and how did that idea even form? Like, what was the first step? Because I'm sure the packaging wasn't looking like this when you guys first started. How did you present that to his mom?
The hardest part was figuring out the formula. Like you said, beyond the packaging, just how do we present somebody with something as easy as a 1, 2, 3 step to making an edible. We went through a couple different ideas. We were going to give a distillate syringe so that people could add that in at whatever dose they wanted, just like you kind of have the terpene syringes now with joints and whatnot. We thought about using a THCA water-soluble isolate. It all came down to flavor, sourcing, like the actual material, what was available and what was going to be available in bulk over time versus something that would be a small run. And so we ended up partnering with a really awesome manufacturer down in Berkeley, Purple Mountain Manufacturing, and they had helped us create this sugar that we were able to then put in and do the testing. And so we were able to create this product by infusing the sugar, putting it in there. So all you get is this little bag that looks like, it's just dry mix. Well, it's already cannabis infused. All you have to do is add eggs and butter or vegan substitutes.
Wow.
And yeah.
That's amazing, because I'm looking at the back of the packaging. You literally got all the steps, step by step on how you can make this edible come to life. I know we were talking a little bit earlier. You were saying you can drizzle your own type of sauce on top, but you're presenting this to the people so that they can have a fun experience while baking their own type of edible, correct?
Absolutely. I think I mentioned to you, I give you the base tools. You can go home and make whatever you want with this, just like a Betty Crocker mix. You can go and you can use this, add nuts to it. You can add, can of butter to it if you want to make something that's a higher dose. You're used to the 215 laws. You need a higher medical use, potency. You can, like I said, drizzle some sauce. I've had people actually mix the two of them together and use a bigger pan than our pan that we have, and they made this cookie brownie. and stuff. I had for Valentine's Day, my best friend, his girlfriend made the cookie as the bottom layer of a cheesecake. You know, like I give you something to do whatever you want with it. You know, like I don't want you just to, you know, you can go home and just make the brownies, or you can go home and make M&M cookies, you know, whatever.
I didn't even think about that actually. You know, everyone who I've come across have always wanted to, you know, make edibles, or they try to make edibles and it didn't come out the way they thought it was going to come out, or one portion had too much THC and the other portion didn't have enough THC. Like how do you guys know it is just the right amount of THC in milligrams?
So, you know, we did a couple different things, you know, per the requirements of compliance and stuff. We have a little package inside here that has our chocolate chips separate. It also has a little spoon inside, so you can see what 10 milligrams of the sugar looks like, or what the powder looks like inside of here. But we also have a diagram on the back, so it makes it as easy as possible for you to cut the 10 squares that you need for your 10 milligrams out of the 100 milligram package.
Oh, got it. So the 100 milligrams is just how much is in there, but once you actually start cutting it into pieces,
then you got your little doses and stuff. And as far as the, you know, the even pour, essentially, what you're kind of talking about is like having potency on this side as potent as on this side. It was again, it was a lot of testing. It was a homogenization thing that we had to deal with, where we actually took the sugar and we had to go through a pulverization process and try to get everything to a particulate size that was as close to each other as possible, so that way when it mixed evenly. You weren't going to get the sugar crystals kind of settling at the bottom or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, again, it was a lot of tests, trial and error. You know, the manufacturers and the labs and stuff that we worked with, they were really the rock stars to help make this happen, because you know, my idea, like you said, it kind of evolved as things kind of came to us, and again, the sourcing of stuff, it evolved.
So you have the manufacturer out in Berkeley that's coming up with the ingredients. They're putting your ingredients into this packaging, and then you come out to where we are at now in West Sacramento, and you go to Lbs Distribution. And what happens once you go to the distribution center? Are they doing the packaging and then they sending it out to all of these different dispensaries, or how does that process go?
No, good question, actually. So no, by the time that this product's been given to LBS or Pounds Distribution, it's gone through all the testing. It's been packaged. Everything's pretty much ready. These guys are the ones that they get it on the trucks and into the hands of the people that are at the dispensaries. They're the ones who are actually, you know, if you think of point A to point B to point C, and point C is the dispensary, they're the point B to point C for me. Wow. They're the ones that are out there. They've got a sales team that's been rock stars for us. They've been really helping us to, you know, expand beyond what I can handle on my own and what my business partner Cameron can handle on his own. And again, just the driving of this stuff, it all has to go through this regulatory system of, you know, manufacturing, distribution, dispensary. They're that distribution for me. They're the ones getting it from, you know, from where we are now to Humboldt to Los Angeles and San Diego.
Now, man, look, you said you guys started this operation just 2 years ago. You recently just started doing the distribution just, almost July, less than a year.
Yep.
You are already in over 100 dispensaries throughout the state of California, and you're in one of the in the Bay Area eyes, one of the biggest dispensaries in Berners Cookies, you know, on Haight, as well as in Merced or Modesto. Modesto. How did that relationship come about? How did you, as a two-person team, come up with this idea and say, you know what, we got to start reaching out to companies who are on a much higher level?
You know, it's again a lot of the help from these guys at LBS, the cookies teams, whether it was Macy at the Modesto store, who reached out to me personally and has become, you know, more than a friend for me. I really enjoy her company, and she's you know, been a supporter and a lover of self-baked from day one. And then Sean, the owner of Berners on Haight, you know, giving me an opportunity to showcase my brand and a flagship store like Berners on Haight, and you know, they've been huge support for me as well. I try and go in there and, you know, hang out with them and stoke them out and, you know, support them in their endeavors, because everyone there is, you know, they're on the up and up. They're trying to make something happen, and that's, you know, all what this industry is about, is trying to help each other. And, you know, they've been the best at it so far for me, and I'm really grateful for that.
That's amazing.
You know, I've got some local clubs over near me in Santa Rosa area, Organican, Mendocan, and Oakland Organics, and those guys have been rock stars for us from day one as well. And probably one of our biggest clients.
That's amazing. Hey, look, shout out to all of the dispensaries who are always showing self-baked love. You guys are much appreciated. I'm sure Alex and his team definitely appreciate everything that you guys are doing for them. Alex, and I know it doesn't just stop at the distribution center. I know it doesn't just stop at the manufacturer company. You are also on the road, and you got your self-baked flag up, and you're trying to promote your business. Talk a little bit about that. Being a traveling man and going to all of these dispensaries and trying to showcase your product.
Absolutely. I mean, half the battle is getting awareness, especially with something as new as this. You can have a catchy name, you have a cool product, you have a cool logo or whatever, but then, what's going to get them really excited about it? And again, even on the buyer side, the dispensaries, what's going to get them to be excited to put it on their shelves? And so we're very lucky that we created something that's so unique. I do spend a lot of my time, about 3 to 4 days a week, I'm driving anywhere in California that I need to be. And, again, it's me and my business partner. He's making sure the wheel turns, and part of that wheel is me being out there and being able to meet and greet and swag people out. And, you said it, I appreciate the dispensary. I appreciate all the bud tenders, because if it wasn't for them, my dream wouldn't come true.
Right.
I'm one person. I can go out there. I can get as many people stoked on this project as I can. But it's really those guys every day that are making sure that it gets in the hands of people.
Right. You talk about this fly ass logo and this fly ass name. Who came up with the logo?
So it was it was a project between me and a friend out in Miami who's a graffiti artist. He goes at Raw Soul. And he was, we kind of sat down. I gave him an idea of what I wanted, and he was able to really put it perfectly. And then the name, it was a funny joke that me and my business partner had sat there and we're trying to think of names one day when we had already thought of the idea. We're like, well, self-baked, baked, you're getting baked and you're baking it yourself. Well, that could work. And it grew on us, and, as we started seeing more and more people getting excited about it, we were like, wow, that catchy joke that we had really is good. That was perfect. Let's stick with that, so... it was a lot of, being surrounded by the right people, having that kind of creative juices flowing with the people around you. And me and my business partner, we've been friends since we were 6 years old. His parents and my parents are still neighbors in our hometown.
Wow.
So we have this really great dynamic, and part of that is what made Self-Baked be what it is.
That's amazing, man. That's actually truly a blessing, that you've come up with your partner. You guys can share the same ideas. It can be kind of tough, having a partner, and then ideas can sometimes clash, but it sounds like you and your partner have been on the same page. I'm pretty sure there's been, a little bit, but... I mean,
everything in business,
for the most part, it's been straightforward, and you guys know what you guys' goals and purposes.
Oh, yeah. He's my backbone, I wouldn't be out here being able to do stuff like this and, getting this product out there if it wasn't for him. And I know he feels the same appreciation that, this machine wouldn't keep going and growing if I wasn't out there, doing what I'm doing, right now and every day.
That's amazing, man. Alex, you guys, you talk about your goals, and you mentioned a little bit about your purpose. You guys are in one of the biggest industries with, cannabis. And then there's obviously the food industry, and then it's just everyone in the world would love to do it themselves.
Yeah.
What is your purpose? How are you trying to incorporate the edible market as well as the food market and the cannabis market?
Absolutely. So, I'm going to kind of just go down this little story real quick, but you think of the cannabis industry as this ever-evolving industry. Back in the day, it was just cannabis flower, then there was hash and edibles, and then as those things started to grow, now there's different types of hash, there's different types of extraction, and then from that there came this whole vaping sector and this whole industry that has opened up.
Yeah.
Edibles, there's edibles. Obviously, it's become creative. People are coming up with new and fun ideas, whether it's hot sauce, popcorn, or marshmallows or whatever. But I see DIY, bake it yourself, as being this new sector in the industry. I want to see in 5 years the High Times Cannabis Cup or Emerald Cup having the DIY section of edibles separate from just edibles, because it's different. It's really going to take a lot of creativity for people to think of the ways to provide people doing something at home. And again, with everything that we've had to deal with, sadly, with COVID, people were starting to do more things at home, realizing that there's funner ways to experience just using cannabis,
Yeah.
and also just ways to keep themselves happy. And I know for myself, I had a lot of friends with sourdough starters, and lots of people at home baking, men and women both. This kind of it couldn't have happened at a better time. Not to say that it's a good time,
right.
but we were able to kind of be like, well, hey, you're stuck at home, here you go.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and once everything opens up, they'll still be ready to still get self-baked and baking at their own homes.
Absolutely. Well, and I'm going to be biased here, but both the recipes are my mom's recipes, and I will tell you, go home and try this, and tell me that you got another edible that tastes just as good as this.
Self-baked, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know what self-baked is, now you do. But make sure you guys go do your Googles. There's been a new word that I've learned, terpene. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Terpene. What type of terpene, or what type of bud, I guess I could say, is in self-baked edibles?
Okay, so the infusion that we've actually put in there.
Yeah. What's the infusion?
So we use a full spectrum CO2 extracted distillate that we end up baking into the sugar. Because we use full spectrum, we're not reintroducing terpenes. We're not actually adding a profile, whether it's sativa or indica. So that's why when you go and buy this, you're not going to get the sativa or indica dominant.
Okay,
it's just going to be self-baked. We have thought about doing some of those things. For myself, I've realized that there is a bigger market for that. I didn't realize that the sativa indica dominance for edibles was going to be as big as it is, say, for flower and for vapes and extracts and stuff. So we are going to start coming out with that as well. But that is a really good question. As far as the terpene profiles, it would be great to have the extra little flavor to there.
Yeah, and speaking of other flavors, what about other mixes? You got the chocolate brownie and the chocolate chip. Will self-baked be having any other mixes coming soon?
Absolutely. We've got a couple projects we're working on. We've got a plant-based butter that we're working on. We've got a pancake waffle mix and all the fixins that will go with that. We're gonna come up with as many other mixes like this. We did brownies because it's the OG, chocolate chip cookies because it's kind of like the classic, everyone's favorite.
Right.
Again, anyone can do whatever they want with those, but we're gonna do like the snickerdoodles. We'll start coming out with like pumpkin spice cookies. We're gonna start coming out with stuff for the holidays. We want this to be fun. Christmas cookies, like anything that we can do. I've joked around about making a gingerbread house kit so that people could go home and make a cannabis infused gingerbread house. I mean, really, the way I look at it is the sky is endless. There's nothing really to stop us from just trying to come out with new things. Birthday cake mix is probably on the next one.
That's the truth.
Birthdays are every month or every day, so that's a big holiday. We've realized that, holidays are great for getting this product into people's hands because it's kind of a community thing. Maybe you're making the tray, you make a set of brownies, you eat it with your friends, especially when, not everyone's out drinking and doing stuff like these days. This is like the mellower version,
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people on Thanksgiving did this. I know, I had a handful for Christmas, I'm not gonna lie. me and my dad and them all did this, and then we decided to make a gingerbread house one day. So, I'm definitely planning on just coming out with anything I can think of.
Man, that's amazing, man. And I guess I wanna piggyback off of that. Like, how can you get self-baked into actual stores like a Safeway or like a Walmart? How can you transition into those stores?
So we've talked about that in the future, doing a CBD line that would be specifically for like the Whole Foods or something like that. So it would be this, but it would just be a CBD. And that would be for like a CBD marketplace and stuff. We would probably have to, this is a little more fun and stonerish. We probably would make it a little less stonerish for the CBD market and stuff. But that's definitely something we've been looking into right now. We're actually looking on expanding right now on the THC market into places like Colorado, Massachusetts, and Nevada. And so it only seems, logical that CBD kind of just come in line with those. So we'll try and enter the CBD market in those spaces as well.
Man, look, Alex, like you said, the sky is endless, man. You guys have this product, and you have so many different things that you guys can do with it. Literally, like, it's self-baked. And if you can think of any type of edible product that you can eat, you can pretty much infuse what it is that you guys got going on, man. That's amazing. You know, how excited do you get when you start thinking of other ideas with your partner?
Oh, I mean, it almost gets overwhelming at a time because we'll be sitting there and we start thinking and we start writing off all these lists and we're like, all right, well, which ones can we tackle first? Because we literally could sit there for days just writing out ideas, and we do have lists that go on for days just of ideas that we've thought of. And it's finding the time and the punctuality, and really prioritizing which one's going to be good at this time, what's going to what's going to be easier to make.
Right.
Again, it's ingredient sourcing and stuff. Brownies, it's one ingredient. A lot of those can be in the cookie mix, but then if we go to something completely different, like the pancake mix, it's got a lot of the similars, but we're gonna have to change some things up a little bit. I get excited, that's for sure. I mean, there's times when my girlfriend's like, all right, you're done for the
calm
day.
down.
Because I'll just sit there, what about this? Oh my god. That actually brings me to this.
And they say when you get stoned, you start thinking of all different types of ideas. I know my best ideas is when I'm gonna actually go home and I'm gonna have some of this self-bake and start thinking of some new ideas for So What Do You Do?
There you go.
Jason, if you get some time, you go home and you get a little bit of this self-bake so you can start thinking of some ideas. I'm pretty sure Jason, you guys know who Jason is. You've probably never seen his face, but y'all know who Jason is. He's gonna have some of this self-baked and show social y'all. Self-baked, man, is I get excited. I'm actually excited talking about it because I've always wanted to start making my own edibles on myself, but I knew it was so much more details to it as far as like the butter and everything goes, and melting it and making sure it's just that right amount. It's to see this right now is I'm ready to get out of this interview and go start self-baking myself.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I said, we gave you all the instructions on the back, 1, 2, 3. Go check out our website as well, or our Instagram, and we have some really awesome little videos that show you, just simple. Melt the butter, crack some eggs, pour in the pan, and bake away, and you're ready to go.
The website, you guys, is selfbaked.com. Can they find some of your merch? I see you got a fly hat, and can you flip the luscious hair back because you got a raw? Look at this, you guys. Can they find some of the merch? Oh, and it's a back piece. Can they find some of this merch on selfbaked.com?
So we got selfbakedclothing.com. We're launching really soon with all of our stuff. We're going to have some hats, we're going to have some shirts, we're going to have our lanyards and a couple other things on there. So keep your eyes peeled for that. You can go. I think we might even have a way for you guys to register to be on the email list. Also check out our our regular website. We'll probably be posting on that. And keep track of us as well on Instagram at self.baked. And that will also, as soon as we get stuff, you'll see me probably on there making a video or, doing a post, and hopefully I'll just get inundated with all you guys' requests.
Seriously, you guys, like you said, make sure you guys go follow him on Instagram at self.baked, as well as go to both his websites, which is selfbaked.com. At selfbaked.com, what can they find?
Selfbaked.com will give you any information that I wasn't able to cover today, the about us, our goals, specifics about the products, what products we're carrying, maybe even some products that we're going to be coming out with soon. And then there's also a store locator on there. So if you want to look and see where it's actually in your location, go check out that. And we kind of try to keep that updated as constantly as possible so that you guys can be aware of where it is in your neck of the woods.
I know you said you guys got locations in San Francisco, Oakland, Mendocino, like Santa Rosa,
Humboldt, San Francisco, San Luis Obispo.
You guys are in SoCal too.
Yeah, we're getting all the way down there. We're in LA. We're getting into Orange County. We just, I think, might have landed an account in San Diego today. I was talking to somebody, so we're getting places. We're in a lot of these places. Captain Puff is one of them. They do like all the Fresno area and that entire valley. So it's not just one city; it's that entire valley.
That is awesome.
So we're trying to cover the whole state. I'm Armenian. I got a lot of family in this state. I've also got a lot of friends. I've grown up in SoCal. I live in NorCal for the last almost 10 years, and yeah, I got people who want this in their hands.
Alex, I know you had mentioned that you wanted to show us a little bit of the facility of the distribution center, LBS, or Pounds Distribution Center in West. I actually like that name, Pounds Distribution.
Re-upping California.
Re-upping California, out of West Sacramento. I know you said you wanted to show us a little bit of the distribution center and what it is, how you guys are doing your business with this process. So I guess we're going to get up and start walking, Jason?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
trapping,